Well, welcome to our journey through the Energy Bus as we look at chapter 6 today. Here we find George back at the bus stop waiting for his new temporary ride to work. Now, if you remember in the last chapter, George made a much needed decision to change. And don't we all wish that once we made that decision, things would instantly get better? Yeah, but that's really not how it works. And so George is left sitting there, waiting, thinking. And he starts to reflect on his team at work and how he realized that they've lost their way too. But really that isn't surprising because there's an old saying that says the speed of a leader determines the speed of the pack. I've seen this time and time again in organizations that I work with. People's actions follow the action of their leadership. If the leader's off course, well, it's not too long until the team is off course too. But George doesn't have long to sit with that thought because bus number 11 pulls up and he sees Joy is sitting in the driver's seat. And it turns out yesterday was her day off. It's the day she takes care of her sick father. Now, this is important. It's a very important moment, not only in this chapter, but in the story, because George assumed that Joy didn't have any problems. But she quickly corrects him. She tells him, George, problems are a part of life. Everyone has challenges. But the difference between George and Joy is that Joy's made a decision in the face of her challenges. She chooses to love life. She chooses to love others, and she chooses to love herself. And now Joy is extra excited. Why? Because George will be with her on the bus for the next 10 days. And that's just enough time for her to teach him and us the 10 rules of the ride of your life. Now, one moment that really stood out to me in this chapter is when Joy tells George about the rules. Did you notice his reaction right away? He says, rules, that's the last thing I need. But Joy doesn't back down. No, on page 22, she says firmly, you need these rules, George. Never turn your back on something that will change your life forever. These are powerful words because the truth is sometimes life puts the right people, the right lessons, the right opportunities in front of us, but we resist them. So my reflection question for you today is, who could help guide you on your journey? Do you have a mentor? Someone you seek out for guidance and wisdom through obstacles and through the challenges of life? I really believe everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs a Joy. Someone who's further down the road and can offer insights that help us navigate the way ahead. Now, the last thing I noticed, and maybe you did too, is that when George finally makes a decision to go on the journey, he suddenly notices that there's other people on the bus. You see, when we're stuck in our own little world, we don't see the people around us that can help us. But these people are going to play a big part in the story. And now things have shifted. George is ready to learn. And like always, when we get to these moments where we're ready to go out on a new journey, we feel both fear and excitement for what's ahead. But I hope you're ready because tomorrow we're going to dive into rule number 1 and it is going to be exciting. I'll see you then.